With the Nigerian university strike entering its ninth month, some university students have appealed to the Academic Staff Union of Universities, that's ASU, to consider the students' future and resume work in their various institutions. Some of the students expressed worries and lamented as they appealed for the suspension of the prolonged strike. Now, the students said they were tired and frustrated due to time wasted without any academic achievement. They said the strike will make them remain at the university more than necessary. ASU has been on strike since March 2020 over demands for more funding for public universities and renegotiation of the 2009 federal government and ASU agreement. Hazeem Oladimeji Salako joins us now to discuss that salient issue and others as touching the state of the Nigerian nation. Good to have you, Hazeem. So how would you assess efforts so far by both parties talking about ASU and, of course, the federal government in addressing current issues on the strike?
Thank you very much. It's very unfortunate that for some 10 months now, the Nigerian students have been frustrated into staying back in their homes without any academic activities. And it is also very unfortunate that the two parties that are culpable of these unfortunate incidents are not showing that alacrity and sincerity expected of them to ensure that the university is open for proper academic activities. So far, so bad. Meetings upon meetings have been held. There have been various positions, but unfortunately, none of these positions or none of these negotiations have been able to open the university. And I have concluded that there is lack of sincerity and there is also the lack of zest expected from the balance of the academics, who are expected to be energetic, who are expected to be enthusiastic, to teach, to research, and so on, to make interventions as regards community services. Unfortunately, also on the other side is also the government who insisted that they will continue to be intransigent on their own position. You know, all in all, we cannot continue like this. The university must be opened. We have seen the effect of this in the incidents of the NSAS protest. Pundits have correctly attributed the intensity and, of course, the magnitude of the NSAS protest with, the ASU perennial strike. So it therefore means that there is a need for these two parties to see a reason of stopping what I believe to be an egoistic clash, and then open the university for the activities, the academic activities it is known for.
Well, Mr. Hazeem, ASU says there's a lack of commitment by the federal government. That's not news to anyone. That's something that is repeated all the time. And therefore, they say there's no hope for resumption. Yet, these students have a right to education. You know, so how can this quagmire be resolved?
Yeah, I mean, it's rather unfortunate. And I don't want to agree that there is always an inexorable position when it comes to negotiation. The fact that a negotiation is welcomed explained that there is a need, or there will be a need for parties to shift ground. And so when a particular party in conflict now says that there is no going back except and unless their position are completely fulfilled, that is also in a way does not it questions and, of course, it probes the sincerity of agreeing to even negotiate in the very first instance. So when you talk about negotiation on the one hand, and you now talk about an intransigent or a kind of inexorable position on the other, it does not commensurate. There is no congruent. You know, when we come on the negotiation table, we are expected, it is expected of us to shift grounds and to see, issues above and beyond our own immediacy. So I expect that ASU on the one, and particularly with reference to the issue of IPPIS, should in a way understand the position of the government. I am not saying, and I have never argued, I'm also a university student in the postgraduate. I am not saying, and I would not be a party to, the bamboozle or a kind of trying to destroy the sanity and the convention in the university system. But I am of the opinion, that in matter of labor relations, the employee should have power over should not have power over the employer. So I'm trying to say that the employer who employs workers should be the one, or she is in the position to make a kind of regulations, rules as it relates with the workers, and not the other way around. So in the issue of the IPPIS, I expect that the university lecturers should understand this from the position of labor relation. However, they have, correctly noticed the flaws in that application. Instead of rejecting or refusing to welcome that innovation, I think what is expected of our erudite professors and scholars is to have a synergy with the federal government and then work into the inadequacy, the inappropriateness of this application in order to make it, habitable, in order to make it, useful and appropriate, for public use. But in the instance whereby employees are now saying that they must compel their employers as to what they must be paid and how they need to be paid, it does not, really commensurate, with known labor relations. But on the other hand, to the federal government, I expect, that, they should have a way of, meeting with these university lecturers and manage this conflict before they escalate into full-blown war. If it has been when this crisis began, federal government had engaged them, I think it will have speak well of them, and then it would have, in a way, doused the intention, or in a way, try to quell the bragging right of university lecturers and the scholars. But to allow this crisis get to, this kind of stage, now the federal government, that was why I said earlier on that it has degenerated to become an egoistic clash, and nobody, because the students are, I've said it, they are predetermined and they are kind of prescient, the outcome, and then this particular outcome that they are predetermined is what, the university lecturers and of course federal government are now trying, to escape. The expectations has always been that has been predicted is that at the end of the day, nothing significantly will happen, and then the school will later be opened and the lecturers will collect all the salaries that they have not worked for, and government will also continue with the governance system, and then who has failed, who has been those who have been halted are the students. This is the reality that will most likely happen, but the parties are trying to ensure, to in a way ensure that this reality, these consequences and outcomes did not happen. But, as it is, the university cannot continue under lock and key. It has to be opened. So I am therefore using this opportunity, using this platform to communicate, the art of Nigerian students to the both parties to, in a way, make amendment, resolve, their issues, and open the university. The university workers have also talked about, the academic staff have also talked about underfunding. But when you introspect into the activities of the university, you see that not even underfunding is the real issue. There is also the problem of underutilization of the scarce resources. So, we have seen series of indictment, allegations of corruptions, even within the university system. So when we talk about, underfunding, that government had not, funded the university very well, we also need to also introspect into how has the university been able to manage, the scarce resources? How have they been able to utilize the scarce resources that is being given to them? And then they also talk, and then when you also look into this issue of funding, I think the reality that the university academic staff need to, understand and accept is that, I'm not trying to make a case for the federal government, but I'm saying that, we have our colleagues, who are studying abroad, and we understand and we have been able to, to catch up with, the reality over there. Government cannot continue to fund the university system in this manner, and yet we expect, good productivity. It's not going to happen. So
indeed.
We may therefore begin
Hazeem,
to look into
very good, Hazeem, yeah. In summary, there should be flexibility in labor relations. That's the essence of the story here. Hazeem Oladimeji, Salako, Public Affairs Analyst, I'd like to thank you for your thoughts on the lingering ASUU strikes. Good to have you.